South Wales Select at Red Dragon. He's been tipped as 2007's big find. He's been number one for 3 weeks already. Mika's on the show. How you doing, Mika?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you.
You're everywhere. Everyone's saying you're 2007's big find. You're all over the internet. You've been number one for 3 weeks.
Are you sick of me yet?
Maybe slightly. How are you feeling about this sudden rise to fame?
It feels great. I feel really lucky to be able to do what I do, you know? And to be given the shot that I'm being given, especially from radio to the public, is, it's quite special. So I'm enjoying every bit of it.
Your song Grace Kelly is so brilliant, but it's from the album Life in Cartoon Motion. You've got your keyboard with you. You're going to do a track from that album right now?
We're going to hear a song called Love Today. That's on the album. And there are actually rumours that it may end up being my second single.
Oh, really?
So, it's kind of a psychotic pop song. When you first hear it, don't be afraid, because it's a little bit odd.
How high do you go with the voice on this one? Because you can really do those high notes.
Well, if you thought I could sing high in Grace Kelly, I've worn especially tight jeans today, so just you wait. It's high. It's high.
Are you up for it?
Yeah.
Due to restrictions, we can only play part of his live performance online. This is Love Today.
Everybody's gonna love today, love today, love today. Everybody's gonna love today. Any way you want to, any way you got to. Love me, love me, love. Girl in the blue, the big Boston, big Boston, big Boston. To your mama and your papa's gone, papa's gone. Mama, papa, shock me, shock.
Brilliant.
Shock.
Mika, live on South Wales Select. That is high. How do you do that?
I don't know. I don't know how I do it. It's just kind of vocal acrobatics, really. It's kind of a trapeze act. It doesn't work out sometimes, especially when, I'm live on stage. I'm always a little bit afraid that today I'll fall off the net and the net will break or something. It does feel like a high wire act.
Please don't fall off. Tell me about Grace Kelly. Grace Kelly's been number one for 2 weeks on downloads alone. It's finally been released physically. What's the song's story?
I wrote Grace Kelly about 2 years ago now. And I was working with a music company in London, and they had gotten interested in me after I'd sent them this demo of 33 songs, because I used to send around demos with about 40 songs in my naivety, thinking that people would actually think that was a good thing. Anyway, they had gotten interested, and in typical fashion, it had happened to me a lot of times. They called me in and then spent about an hour telling me how I should change and how I should write songs, more like everyone else was releasing records at the time. So I kind of, sat there for an hour, listened to this talk, and then I went home and was kind of upset. And actually, I was fuming.
That must have been quite hurtful.
It is and it isn't. I mean, it just got me really frustrated because they were so into what I was doing. And then as soon as you sit down, they're telling you you're going to change. And it had happened to me before. So I got angry and I was like, well, you know what? You want me to be like Robbie Williams or Craig David? I'll try and be like Grace Kelly instead. Let's see if you still want to sign me. So I wrote the song and I typed out the lyrics and I demoed it. And then I think when I sent them the lyrics, by the time they got to the line that said, should I bend over? Should I look older? Just to be put on your shelf, they decided not to call me back.
Do these people now know that you've got a big record deal?
I think they know.
I bet they do.
It's been shoved down their face pretty hard.
Now, the video, there's a lot of neon tube action going on. Was anyone injured during the making of that?
Yeah, we had some serious health and safety issues that day because we also had really random people there. We had like very older ladies who, one of them was having such a great time that she kept going, my heart is going to explode. And suddenly like all these health and safety people ran onto the set assuming she was going to have a heart attack. But she couldn't really speak English well. And that was just her way of saying, I'm having a great time. Don't resuscitate me.
Let's hear part of Grace Kelly right now, and we'll talk more in a second.
Yeah, great.
I try to be like Grace Kelly, but all her looks were too sad. So I tried a little Freddie. I've got an entity mind. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet.
So, tell me about your family. You're one of 5 children?
One of 5. I'm the middle child of 5.
What was that like growing up?
It was great. I mean, our family is completely insane.
Because your background is so interesting. You were born
in Beirut, Lebanon, and then evacuated a year later because that was pretty, 83 was kind of the height of the civil war over there. So I ended up in Paris, and I lived there for about 7 or 8 years. And then London. So London's a place I've lived most of my life. But my accent is really confusing, especially to most people, because I grew up in Paris, so I learned how to speak English from my parents. My mother's Lebanese, my dad's American. Unfortunately, I think I'm starting to copy your accent now because my accent's kind of, it just kind of morphs all the time. I'm a bit of an airport.
So when you're at an airport and they say, where are you from? What do you say?
Well, do you know what? I don't know. I always fumble it, and then they think I'm like some sort of like immigration problem, and so they question me even longer.
Security alert.
Man with mistaken identity. And then they make you do the whole thumbprint and the eye scan and
DNA.
Searches.
But such an international upbringing must have been really interesting.
It was. It is. I still, I'm still going to places I've never been to, but I feel really lucky to have had that upbringing. I think when you grow up in many places, it kind of shakes your world. I don't have that, that little village where there's the church where everyone got married and buried, or the tree where I first got kissed or anything. There's nothing like that. So I'm not particularly rooted as a result of that. I've never been overly comfortable anywhere. And I think that it makes you question things all the time. And as a writer, that's really healthy because complacency or being too comfortable can be very dangerous.
Would it be okay to bring up the infamous Orbit chewing gum adverts?
God, as long as you don't make me sing it.
Would I do that, Mika?
Yeah.
Tell me the story about the Orbit chewing gum ads.
Well, I started singing really early. I had a hard time at school, and I was very dyslexic, and I wasn't exactly the kind of kid that gets given an easy time at school by other pupils. So it led to me actually leaving school, and when I was waiting to go to another place to study, I couldn't get in anywhere. So I wasn't at school for over 6 or 7 months. And during that time, I started studying music with this really, strong Russian singing teacher. So I started doing classical music, a couple months of training, and I got good really quickly. And I ended up doing my first job, which was in the chorus of a Strauss opera at the Royal Opera House. And then one thing led to the other. I kept doing more recordings with them, and then also, with like all kinds of music. I ended up doing session work, and my mother and I were really ignorant as to what people charged in that industry. And to me, I was just glad to get the work, and I was glad to get out of school. So I was very cheap, and the studios loved that. And I was also fast. So I did this Orbit chewing gum jingle amongst other works, such as like British Airways in-flight music and music for commercials and cooking shows and whatever the hell I was asked to do for 50 quid a pop, which to me at the time was great, for my little junior Barclays account. But, I didn't realize that actually you had to add a couple zeros to that normally.
I hope that you're getting a serious whack now. Mika, you're brilliant. Your voice is amazing. Good luck this year. Not that you're going to need it. Thanks for being on South Wales Select.
It was a pleasure to be here. Cheers.